Hey y'all, this is Tiffany with Boss on a Budget. I help new and small nonprofits get up and running. I don't know why you're not subscribed to my channel yet because I drop videos every week, especially for those of y'all who need help starting your nonprofit or need help raising money for your new nonprofit. So today I want to talk about how you can raise money without having to put out money to do that. So a misconception for a lot of people is if we need to raise money, we have to put something out, like we got to pay for a service or we got to pay for this in order for us to start receiving money. And no, that's not necessarily the case depending on the decisions you make early on. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 different services that are either free or very low cost, or you don't pay until you use the service. So if you're one of those people who want to start raising money, but you feel like cost is a barrier, I want you to listen to this video because these are 3 services or types of services that you can use without putting anything up front. My favorite way to fundraise, especially when you're new and don't have a lot of money in the bank, is peer-to-peer fundraising. I've talked about this a lot. I've talked about it in this video that I'm linking above. I even have a workbook which helps you outline your own campaign and launch it for yourself. But I'm lifting up peer-to-peer fundraising because it especially is a tool or a method you can use that doesn't require monetary output. Right? So I worked with an organization who launched and raised over $100,000 and they didn't really have to invest much upfront to do that. Very, very little. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first service or app you should be using is a donation platform, right? And the words that I'm using, they may have different terms depending on the company, depending on the person who's teaching you about it, but I'm just going to generally call it a donation platform. When I say donation platform, I'm talking about a service that allows you to accept payments, right? So for example, you have a donate button on your website, and when someone clicks donate, maybe a pop-up comes up and they see a page where they enter in their information to donate. A donation platform will give you the capability to do that. It also gives you other capabilities like capturing contact information, offering different options for covering fees, for doing recurring payments. It depends on the donation platform, right? But generally, that's what I'm talking about. The second part is the payment processor, right? And that's the service that you have to use to process those payments and send them to your bank account. And in most circumstances, you have to have both. You got to have a donation platform, or sometimes I call it a payment gateway, and then a payment processor. An example of this would be Stripe as your payment processor, and like a Give Lively, which is a service for nonprofits that allows you to accept donations. So you have to sign up for Give Lively and Stripe to accept donations, and then they talk to each other, and every time someone donates through your Give Lively page, then it will send that information to Stripe, and then Stripe will use it to transfer it to your bank account. Now, it's free upfront, but there's likely going to be a fee at the back end. So if you're using Stripe, then they're going to take their fee out for transferring that money for you. If you're using a donation platform, then there may be a fee associated once someone donates. But you don't have to pay a thing until you start raising money, which is really important for small nonprofits because, like we've been talking about in this video, you may not have the money to invest upfront. But when you start making the money and then the services only have to take out money once you make it, it makes it so much easier for you. So the first type of app or service that you could use for free is your donation platform plus your payment processor. And there are a lot of services that are free. The second service that you need for fundraising, but it's free, you don't necessarily have to pay for it, is an email marketing service, okay? So when I say email marketing system, I mean a system that allows you to do mass mailings all at once. It gives you the capability to track when people click links. It gives you the ability to play around with images and video embedded in your messages to people. And it allows you to maintain a mailing list. Why does this matter when it comes to fundraising? It matters because people who are thanked, people who are acknowledged are more likely to give again. And your email marketing can automate a thanking and acknowledgement process so that people receive those acknowledgement letters, those personalized thank yous when you send messages out through your email marketing. It's also important for people to know like what happened with the money that they gave. Are you making the impact that you said you were going to make? What are the important stories that are coming out of the work that you're doing? You can share that through your regular email communications, whether you want to call it a newsletter or it's just a regular email campaign that you're sending. You can use email campaigns to get people fired up to give again. Right? So the organization that I mentioned that I helped with the peer-to-peer fundraising campaign, a part of that process was I was regularly sending messages. I was regularly sending mass emails to people once they donated and once they got on our list to keep them in the loop about what was happening with the organization. That was so important because people felt like they were a part of a movement. Every time they got an email, there was a new update, and it was exciting for them to see. And it was more likely that they would pay attention to what happened from the organization and be more responsive to another gift. Many of the email marketing tools have a cost. So let me just be completely upfront with that. But there are some that you can start out for free. Now, some of the capabilities in the services may be limited, right? But you can still use them for free. Two examples that I've used is Mailchimp and Mailerlite. I'll drop the spelling of those in the description box. But both of those services allow you to use them for free up into a certain amount of contacts on your mailing list. Now, when you start growing and expanding, then you're going to have to pay a monthly fee, but starting out, you don't have to pay anything. So again, as you grow your list, as people give, you're going to start having money come in. And so based on that money coming in, you can then be able to pay for, building up and upgrading the service. And the third type of services that allows you to fundraise for free is social media. Like, this is a big category, so I'm not going to necessarily call out one in particular because honestly, any platform where your donors are, any platform that you're able to optimize and use for your benefit, you should be using. So I'm not going to get on here and say you have to be using TikTok for your nonprofit. You better be using Instagram for your nonprofit because honestly, it's what makes most sense for your organization. And for anyone watching this video 5 years in the future, TikTok may be obsolete, right? So who knows? The caveat to that is, and I've said this before, you should just be on Facebook as a given because Facebook has really good fundraising tools and they give you access to a lot of data because Facebook collects a lot of data on people's online habits. So it's to your advantage to use the fundraising tools in Facebook. But again, I'm not going to say you have to be on certain social media channels, but I will say you have to be on something because first of all, the reach on these platforms is amazing. Never before have we been able to reach so many people for free, sharing our opinion, sharing our platform, putting our asks out there. And you could just hit enter and so many people can see the messages that you're putting out. And if you learn the networks and you learn the algorithms, you can really amplify your impact by getting to a lot of people. So regardless of how you want to approach it, you need to be on social media because it expands your reach. Also, it gives you the ability to connect to your donors and your potential donors in ways we never were able to do that before. When people give, it's because usually it's like an emotional reaction. Usually it's based on some compelling story or something that they really believe in. And you can draw people in through pictures more easily than you can do with words. You can especially draw people in with video, which is where a lot of the social media platforms are leaning towards now. They're leaning way more toward video than ever before. And you can use that to your advantage because most smartphones have really good advanced cameras out here. You can use your camera, you can record videos, you can connect with people, you can share stories, you can share pictures, and people will be motivated and compelled to give. You've seen it. You've seen people do that with individual GoFundMe campaigns. You've seen people do that in times of crisis, right? With the George Floyd murder, where so many people gave toward his campaign to support his daughter and his family. You've seen that in natural disasters. People respond when they begin to connect and relate to stories, and you should be using social media to connect with your donors and your potential supporters, and it's free, right? So it's completely free. Now, you may have to pay for advertising or things like that to increase your reach, but there is so much potential for you to reach people organically. There is no reason why you shouldn't be on social media. All right, y'all, those are the 3 services or apps that you should use, or types of services that you should use to raise money for free. You do not have to shell out a lot of money to be able to raise money for your nonprofit. But I'm going to say this, what you don't have to pay in money, you have to make up in time, effort, and sweat equity. So if you're thinking that all you got to do is set up a page and put out a post on social media and the donors will come, that's not what I'm saying at all. You still have to put up the energy and the effort and have a real strategy behind what you're doing and how you're collecting money, which is why I created that workbook, which outlines an entire campaign for you. And once you go through the workbook, it will have everything you need to launch your campaign to raise money, right? So you need to have a strategy in place in order to be successful, but you absolutely should know about these free services to help you maximize your effort. All right. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you need help, make sure you go to www.bossandabudget.com, and I'll see you in the next video.